This discussion contains survivor testimony and personal opinions. All statements regarding third parties are allegations or opinions, not statements of proven fact. Names mentioned are part of public reporting or personal belief and are not accusations.
Epstein would make girls feel like he was doing something good for them, like he was special. And I almost want to say that people would get it caught up in the manipulation and coercive control. I went by myself, and he asked me if I had given massages before, and he gave me a massage book, and I was to look at that book and study that book like I had a job. We actually can't say, because a lot of us are in legal proceedings, and these people could sue us.
Yeah.
We are grown women now, and we have children of our own to protect. We have a lot to protect with the next generation.
Hey everyone, this is Billy Carson, aka Forbidden Knowledge. Welcome to this very special edition of the Forbidden Knowledge podcast. I have Sharlene Rochard with me today. She is an Epstein survivor. And we're going to have a great talk and interview to talk a little bit about Epstein's Island, what happened with the whole scenario as much as we possibly can, the reasons why, and life after Epstein. Okay? So, Sharlene, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. First of all, it's an honor and a privilege to be able to interview you. And thank you for your courage and being able to come out and speak as much as you possibly can on this topic. I want to start off by having you just tell the listeners and the viewers a little bit about yourself pre-Epstein. Like, what were you like and what were you into?
So my life before Epstein was pretty normal. I started modeling at 12. Actually, I won a contest. And I started modeling at 16, traveling, and I thought I was having the time of my life. I thought that was a really good career. I could travel and do things that I wanted to do. Wow. And during this modeling process, is that when you maybe finally eventually got approached by someone who knew Epstein? Yeah. So Epstein was able to recruit girls through other girls. So a friend of mine introduced me to Epstein.
Gotcha. And I know people listening out there would be like, why would other girls introduce other girls? Could it just feel like a cool thing, or maybe like I'm in this in crowd and you would be great to be a part of it? Or do you think they just had no idea what they were doing? They just thought it was, doing a friend a favor?
Epstein would make girls feel like he was doing something good for them, like he was special. And I almost want to say that people would get it caught up in the manipulation and coercive control and caught up in basically his web. And so if you went out and he would ask you, do you have a friend or something that you would like to bring by? Maybe I could help them. And so he put it under the guise of he could help you and your friends.
Gotcha. Yeah, and then when somebody seems like a powerful figure rolling with the high-level elites all the time, you pretty much want to believe them, because it's like, well, how did they get to this level? And how are they around all these famous people and political figures all the time?
Correct.
Yeah, so he painted this illusion of who he was, but with an alternative agenda, basically.
Correct.
Yeah. What is it like getting that first invitation? Like, I know, just to be like, okay, I'm going to go to this particular event. Did you feel excited about that? Or is it like, wow, I can't believe I'm invited? Or?
No, when I met Jeffrey, a friend of mine had actually asked me to go. And so I went by myself. And he asked me if I had given massages before, and he gave me a massage book, and I was to look at that book and study that book like I had a job.
Yeah. Wow.
So I was going under the guise that I was actually had a job.
Wow. That's wild. He just, here's the book. Get the
I know.
Wow.
I mean,
That's incredible.
when you're so young, you'll believe anything. And so I actually thought that I was doing something of importance. I had a job.
Yeah, get the sweetest massage going, wow. And, this is obviously a form of grooming. Yeah, so grooming a young mind, utilizing, his own popularity and his own connections to give this influential type of a feeling to the girls. And then they would be like, yeah, sure, of course, I'd love to be part of this. Are you able to talk about... well, I know you can't talk about that. Let's talk about this. So we know that a lot of people just want to hear these names. They really just want. And for those of you who like, why is he curbing a couple of questions? Is because there's a couple things we can touch on, a couple of things we can't touch on for legal reasons. But I know that people want to hear these names. That's the biggest thing that how come y'all just can't spit these names out? Why doesn't anybody just speak the names, say these people's names? And I did a podcast, which you saw, and I explained why, and I'm glad that you agreed with me, was because of the legal ramifications and also the potential unaliving ramifications that can happen as well. Are you able to speak on that a little bit?
Well, when you had explained that on the podcast before, you were the actual only person that understood why we can't say the names. And I thought, oh my gosh, somebody actually understands us and is on our side. We've had so many reporters and media ask us, oh, they just want to know who it is or what happened. But we actually can't say because a lot of us are in legal proceedings and these people could sue us. Yeah. And the lawsuits can literally destroy you. Even if they don't win, they can still destroy you because who wins in lawsuits? The attorneys win. Who wins in lawsuits? The people who get the judgments placed on others. If you can't pay an attorney enough money to fight against the person that did you wrong. And in court, what we find a lot of times, it's not about who's right or wrong. It's about who has enough money to sustain the fight. Correct.
And once you start just blatantly spitting out these names, all of a sudden, the people whose names they are, they're going to want to defend themselves to the teeth. So they're going to go out and get the best attorneys. They have all the money. They have all the power and all the influence as well with these judges and with other people in politics. And then all of a sudden, you can be put in a very bad, precarious situation, financially, emotionally, and everything else. The burden of proof then is going to be put on you. Which that'll be very hard to do because they've already collected the tapes and all the video. They have it all. And then you're also looking at a situation where some other high-level figures have the power to reach out and touch people. And we can't say who they are, but they have the power to do it. And if they get a chance, they just might, just to keep the situation under wraps. And so it's really unfortunate, but that's why these women have not just hopped on a microphone and start spitting out names. Imagine if it was you and all of a sudden you just start getting on the mic, spitting out these names, and now every one of these people that you've named is coming to attack you and your family. You can't even go to a grocery store and buy eggs. I mean, it's crazy.
That's correct. And a lot of us are grown. We are grown women now. And we have children of our own to protect. And we don't need reporters or people hiding in the bushes and jumping out at us when we go home or our children are home. We have a lot to protect with the next generation. And it's really important that we keep them safe. Yeah, we can't make any more victims of Epstein. We just can't. Yeah. Now, Epstein was supposedly like this financier. This guy was teaching as a professor at a university, advanced mathematics, which he had no degree himself. Do you have any idea how he got put into this position? Like who gave this guy the upgrade and say, okay, we're going to put you here so you can start doing this? I feel like Epstein positioned himself with the higher ups. He knew how to manipulate people, not just young girls. He manipulated everybody around him. Yeah. And he was able to get put in that position through the people that he knew. He used every opportunity he could. If he wanted girls, he would ask girls. He placed himself in places to be able to meet all of these other people.
Yeah, he was always in every photo shoot, every shot, in the background of every wedding, every major event. If you look deep into the photos, you see Jeffrey Epstein's there. He's at pretty much almost every major event that happens. He's somewhere in the background lurking.
Jeffrey knew everybody.
Yeah. Wow. Incredible that this guy was able to rise up and do that. Do you think he had any ulterior motives with positioning political figures and elites with these young girls?
That's what has been said, that he had done that. I don't have any proof of that, but that he positioned people in these places with hidden cameras to blackmail them. I don't know if that was going in the back of his mind, but I do know that he was a psychopath, and that could possibly be the reason.
Right. Yeah. Because it just seemed like he had such an agenda, him and Ghislaine Maxwell, and she just seemed like they were business partners in some kind of way. Yeah. Were they ever in a relationship together, do you know? I'm not 100% sure if they were in a relationship. Maxwell was always around Jeffrey, and she is also to blame for a lot of the trafficking and the young girls, because she acted like she was our mother. She took us in, and women normally trust women. So she is just as dangerous as Jeffrey was and is now. Wow. So she was culpable because she played the role of the nurturing figure to encourage the girls to feel comfortable so that their manipulation could take effect.
And people don't change.
Right. Exactly. It's just a wild story because, you say to yourself, how could these elite people put themselves in such a precarious situation with so many different girls that at one point thinking maybe one of them might say something in the future? It never crossed their minds that nobody will ever speak out. It just seems like they just were power hungry. They thought that their power was so strong that nobody would ever come against them. Yeah.
I think that's the narcissistic abuse of what Jeffrey Epstein did to everybody, and what narcissists do. They actually do think they're above the world, and there are no consequences. That's how they think.
Right. Yeah. Did you ever feel like you were in danger at all?
Yes. I did feel like I was in danger. Yeah. Okay.
And now that more of you have been showing up on the news and press releases and everything else, the survivors, do y'all talk about potentially, feeling, unsafe?
We do feel some of the girls have gotten death threats, but one of the most amazing things that has come out of all of this is actually that I feel like I have sisters now, women that actually understand and care, because we've all been through this situation in some way or another. And the trauma has brought us together in such a way that we're trying to bring a positive change, turn pain into something positive.
Yeah.
And so every time we speak out, and especially when we're together, we feel the empowerment of all of us together. Like when we were at the Capitol, we did something unprecedented. We had a law made in literally one day. Like it went right past the Senate. And there was only one person that said no. But as we were sitting there at the Capitol, the whole board where everybody was voting, it was green check, green check, green check. And it was a really amazing feeling. So together we feel we're more powerful in numbers than alone.
So what you're saying is that the Epstein files are real. It's not a hoax. It's not a hoax.
No, we're not a hoax. And to be honest, one of the things that I tell my kids is when somebody calls you a name, they usually are that thing. So who's the hoax?
Yeah.
I know I'm not a hoax.
Yeah. You look like a real person to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
I am.
You've got a real person sitting here. With the evidence to back up what you're saying, by the way, which we can't show on this podcast, but the evidence is real. And so obviously it's real. It's not a hoax. These things really did happen. There are women that are survivors. I don't know if you knew this, but I had reported on Jeffrey Epstein all the way back in 2015 on my Forbidden Knowledge Instagram account and my Forbidden Knowledge Facebook page. I was a very, 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 very first person to put him on social media. Reminder. This conversation reflects survivor testimony and opinion-based discussion. No allegations are presented as proven facts. Please engage respectfully. And I was reporting that of his involvement with, in my opinion, some of the situations with the flight logs at the time, which we knew back then, Bill Clinton. And also some information in reference to Hillary Clinton. I know it has nothing to do with you, but I was the first person to post and bring a light. And the beautiful thing about social media, it saves everything you post. You can't even delete it because people screenshot it. So it's there. If they scroll and scroll and scroll, they might see me have reposted it 3 or 4 times between 2015 and 2017 or whatever. But to put it out, I had found out about Jeffrey Epstein a very long time ago. Very long time ago. Yeah.
And isn't it sad that it has taken almost 30 years to even come to light, to ask for our files? I mean, that's just ridiculous. The girls and I are laughing because 50 Cent literally did everything. He had a full movie. He has all the information he needed. He got this all out there in less than a year? Yeah. And we're waiting 30 years?
30 years. Wow.
5 administrations.
Crazy. Yeah. Every president wants to cover it up. Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter. This is why I tell people there is no such thing as a Democrat or Republican. It just, to me, it just doesn't exist. Because at the end of the day, we're not looking for politicians, we're looking for humanity. And where's the humanity? In this whole situation, the biggest thing that I've noticed, which has been the biggest travesty, is the overlooking of what happened to the women. What happened to the women has been completely overlooked. It's all about protecting the men.
Correct. Good morning. This is me. This was me. My name is Sharlene Rochard, and I stand before you today not as a victim of rumor or conspiracy, but as a survivor of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse. Far too long, survivors like me have been dismissed, silenced, or told that our pain was exaggerated or fabricated. Let me be clear. This is not a hoax.
Yes, it's not.
What we endured was real, and it has scarred lives across 5 presidential administrations. The truth has been buried in sealed files and hidden records for far too long. The Epstein Files Transparency Act is not just about survivors. It's about America itself. How can we keep America great if the principles the nation was founded on, that power belongs to the people, is not protected? No one, no matter how wealthy and well-connected, stands above the law. If we cannot face the truth, then we betray the very ideals that defines us as a country. by passing this act, Congress has the chance to prove that truth matters more than privilege.
Yes.
That justice matters more than influence. And that America has the courage to confront even the most uncomfortable realities. This is not just about survivors. It's about every American who believes in accountability, fairness, and the promise of justice. I stand here today not only for myself, but for every survivor of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse who has carried this burden in silence, and for every citizen who believes that justice delayed is justice denied.
Yes.
I want to thank Representatives Ro Khanna and Thomas Massey for standing with us. Thank you. And I especially want to thank Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. Her unwavering support, her courage to stand with us and demand transparency gives us strength. Thank you. It shows that this fight for accountability is bigger than politics. It's about humanity, justice, and truth. This is about America's future. It's about whether we, the people, will be heard when we have the courage to stand for truth and justice. Our voices are real. Our pain is real. And our demand for justice will not be silenced. Thank you.
Amen.
You know, and there were a few women as well involved, but it's mostly about protecting the men. And at the end of the day, even the only person that's actually in jail right now that's alive is Ghislaine, which is actually a woman.
Right.
So there's a woman locked up for these crimes. Not one man is locked up anywhere. The ones that actually committed these egregious acts against other human beings. And I think that's the biggest travesty, is that everyone in these high levels, they just are wanting to overlook what happened to these women by any means necessary. And you're one of them, you know, and Virginia Guthrie was another one. Do you have any insight as to what might have really happened with her?
So Virginia was in a horrible relationship after Jeffrey. And there's a statistic that says that 1 out of every 3 people that has had abuse in their past, whether it's sexual or verbal, mental, and physical, they will usually end up in an abusive relationship after. So that is, Virginia did end up in an abusive relationship after. And it literally killed her. And most of us girls, there is a commonality that we have ended up in abusive relationships after Jeffrey. The toll that it took on all of us is he worked on your self-esteem. I felt like I couldn't do anything, like mentally. It's so hard to get over that, especially when you go from somebody who you think you can trust to them to exploiting you, and then going into another relationship, already having trust issues, and then this person also abuses you. So it destroys you completely. He literally turned our trajectory from, you know, working a lot, having a good job, to not being able to work, to being depressed, to feeling shame about everything that has happened to us in the past. There are so many things that have happened to me personally that it's taken decades to literally overcome what has happened throughout my life even. And to even be able to speak out about it. And the reason I'm speaking out is because I think it's really important for the next generation to know what happened to us so that it doesn't happen again.
Absolutely. You know, it's a travesty because, like you say, because of the abuse that you all went through, now you begin to get on that vibration. That's the frequency you're on. So when you get out of that, you survive it. Now you still attract it back in. So have you had relationship issues in your life?
Absolutely. I mean, I had a horrible, abusive marriage. It was horrible. And just the after effects and going through that and what happens to you, you feel like you just don't want to be here anymore. Like you just can't take it. You want to unalive yourself because of the fact that like you are so much in shame that all of this has happened. You've been exploited so many ways. You don't trust anybody anymore. And because of that, you don't feel comfortable having friendships or relationships in general. I personally don't like to get a massage or anybody touching me. I am no longer a touchy-feely person. It's just so many ways it destroys you. And actually, one of the things that has helped me is your podcast.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
So I was in a really bad place. However, by listening to you and learning how to raise my vibration and things, right now I feel like I'm at courage where I can speak out and have courage. And I'm slowly gaining back up to like I was at red and maybe now I'm at green and I want to get up to the purple in the I guess the triangle of,
Yeah.
But it's one step at a time. Every day it's difficult.
Yeah. It takes a lot to work on yourself. Dealing with that past trauma, which is a thing that really needs to be cataloged, and studied how this affected all of the women that were involved as it propagates down their lifetime, down their timeline, and how they deal with all of these situations. It's just another level of abuse, but this is just abuse that it happens all the time. This one just became public.
Correct. This is something that, like I said, affects 1 in 3 women or even a lot of men too have been abused.
True.
It's not just women, it's men. So Jeffrey Epstein was women, but there's other situations where it's men.
Yeah.
And it's so important to teach the next generation the signs. And that is one of the reasons why, for me, it's important that all of the files that are being released right now are released, because there's so much in those files that could potentially be overlooked. It's not just people's names. People want to say it's just names. It's not names. It's also banks. It's also institutions. It's so many other things that can highlight how this worked and how we can prevent it again.
Yeah.
And that's one of the main things. How do we prevent this happening, and what are the signs? What does the next generation need to know? What are the signs of a narcissist? What are the signs of these people that are so manipulative? What is a psychopath? What is a sociopath? What are these people? That is not taught in schools.
No.
And this needs to get out in the world so that the next generation does not go through what we went through.
Exactly. When they see the red flags, they'll know to run the other way.
Exactly.
Yeah, this has to be done. There's so much money that was sent to Jeffrey Epstein by so many different people, including banks, like you said, major institutions, and then also major institutions, financial, controlling and protecting the money. And his account is still taking money in and money out on a week-by-week basis. It's still running transactions, which is bizarre.
Yes.
If someone commits some type of a crime, some low-level individual, they'll seize their bank account, they'll freeze it, they'll freeze their assets, in a heartbeat, just blink. And then, when Russia first attacked Ukraine, they were seizing oligarch yachts and, they were whatever they wanted, they can just take it. They were freezing bank accounts all over the world. But all of a sudden, they just can't seem to freeze this guy's bank account. They just can't seem to stop the transactions from happening. And you're right, this document is a lot more than just names. It really paints a huge picture, a global network of people that are into the most sadistic and most ridiculous, egregious acts against women on the planet. And when I hear about what they're going to release, I only get concerned that they're really going to redact like 90% of the stuff, because they spent about $1 million redacting already. And so that means that more information might come out, but will we ever truly know all of these particular entities and people? That's the big question.
That is the question, and that's our question too. We are constantly being bombarded right now with photographs. What does a photograph show? Where's
it means
proof?
Nothing.
What that does actually, and what people need to know is, if you do know a survivor, because there are a lot of us, please don't send us the photos.
Right.
Please don't ask us about the photos.
Yeah.
The first photo dump that just happened last week, I was completely traumatized because I was in that room I was on the island, and they showed one of the rooms I'd stayed in. And it set me back into that time. And I just really didn't need to relive that at that moment. I had things going on, like my son's birthday party and things. And I don't need people. And people have good intentions. They just literally want to know. But it's not good to just come out and ask us. Maybe people just aren't trauma informed. And I decided that I wasn't going to look at this last batch of things that were dumped, because it's honestly traumatizing.
Yeah, it's a trauma link.
And it doesn't matter. That's not what we need to see. What we need to see is the files, where the money went. Like you mentioned, they always say, follow the money.
Yeah.
That's how you're going to get underneath all of the crimes. And it's so much more than that. Yeah.
They're worried about, I think some of these names are so huge in this Epstein list, and some of the entities or the businesses are so large that if they were completely all exposed, of course, even simultaneously all at once, that it could collapse NASDAQ, the Dow Jones. It can maybe collapse the GDP of an entire country. Reminder, this conversation reflects survivor testimony and opinion-based discussion. No allegations are presented as proven facts. Please engage respectfully. Because of the powerful people that would be named and implemented in these files. And what I'm thinking, or what I'm wondering is, do you think they'll ever throw us a bone like some of the lower level elites, throw a couple in jail? Or do you think no one will ever see a day of jail or prison time for this?
My hope is that justice will be served, but that is my hope. In reality, I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't even believe personally that all the files will be released. We've been at this for almost 30 years, and now we're releasing files. How long is it really going to take to get justice? We haven't seen any justice yet. In fact, Ghislaine Maxwell has a puppy.
Yeah, she's got a puppy in prison. She's got a nice suite with a beautiful, incredible mattress. She don't have that little thin mattress. She's got nice clothing. She has access to a cell phone. She's got computers, TVs, and a puppy, and Uber Eats.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, who gets that in jail? I don't know anybody else who's gotten that.
I've only seen that in movies. Like kingpins, they're running the whole prison from the inside and running the streets too.
It sounds like a vacation.
It does. It's crazy.
This is not real life. But it is real life. Exactly. It seems like a movie. This should not be happening.
It should not be happening. Yeah. The trauma from this must be just gut wrenching, because, right now, of course, every time you turn your feed on social media, something about Epstein or the survivors is going to pop up every so many swipes. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good that maybe we have the public's interest in support of us. But sometimes some of the comments are, let's just not speak about this anymore. Oh, we're talking about the Epstein files again. And some people just want to get over it. Mm-hmm. But what they don't realize is that this is probably going to be the biggest uncovering of anything that they've ever seen before.
Yeah.
And it is really important to understand how this traffic ring happened. Maybe that person has children that says, let's just not talk about this anymore, or whatever. And it's like, let's protect the next generation. That's what matters the most. Let's actually take a look at this and see how this happened. That's why we need to continue talking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of tired of talking about it, about my story or my trauma. At this point, I believe that that's not really what matters. What matters is, how do we protect the next generation? Exactly.
Yeah, because this just keeps happening. I remember in a congressional hearing, Senator, or I think Congresswoman Cynthia McKinney, at the time she was a congresswoman, she was addressing Oliver North, I believe, in reference to some missing money, in reference to some of the budget issues, but also the fact that the U.S. government had given out from the Pentagon a contract to a privately held corporation that was heavily involved in human trafficking of women and children.
In 2005, when Representative Cynthia McKinney grilled Donald Rumsfeld during the House hearings on the 2006 budget for the U.S. Department of Defense. Let's listen to McKinney as she questions Rumsfeld on the missing trillions and hear Rumsfeld's pathetic response.
I thank the gentleman, the gentlelady from Georgia, Ms. McKinney.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, I watched President Bush deliver a moving speech at the United Nations in September 2003, in which he mentioned the crisis of the sex trade. The president called for the punishment of those involved in this horrible business. But at the very moment of that speech, DynCorp was exposed for having been involved in the buying and selling of young women and children. While all of this was going on, DynCorp kept the Pentagon contract to administer the smallpox and anthrax vaccines, and is now working on a plague vaccine through the Joint Vaccine Acquisition Program. Mr. Secretary, is it policy of the U.S. government to reward companies that traffic in women and little girls? That's my first question. My second question, Mr. Secretary, according to the Comptroller General of the United States, there are serious financial management problems at the Pentagon, to which Mr. Cooper alluded. Fiscal year 1999, 2.3 trillion missing. Fiscal year 2000, 1.1 trillion missing. And DOD is the #1 reason why the government can't balance its checkbook. The Pentagon has claimed year after year that the reason it can't account for the money is because its computers don't communicate with each other. My second question, Mr. Secretary, is who has the contracts today to make those systems communicate with each other? How long have they had those contracts? And how much have the taxpayers paid for them? Finally, Mr. Secretary, after the last hearing, I thought that my office was promised a written response to my question regarding the 4 war games on September 11th. I have not yet received that response, but would like for you to respond to the questions that I've put to you today, and then I do expect the written response to my previous question, hopefully by the end of the week.
Thank you, Representative. First, the answer to your first question is no, absolutely not. The policy of the United States government is clear, unambiguous, and opposed to the activities that you described. The second question.
Well, how do you explain the fact that DynCorp and its successor companies have received and continue to receive government contracts?
I would have to go and find the facts, but there are laws and rules and regulations with respect to government contracts and there are times that corporations do things they should not do, in which case they tend to be suspended for some period. There are times then that under the laws and the rules and regulations passed by the Congress and implemented by the executive branch, that corporations can get off of out of the penalty box, if you will, and be permitted to engage in contracts with the government. They're not generally not barred in perpetuity.
This company was never in the penalty box. If you could proceed to my second question, please.
The second question, I've forgotten what the second question was.
I think Ms. Jonas knows it.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. McKinney. I appreciate the question. I appreciate your interest in our department's financial condition, and we are working very hard on that program. I've just come back recently.
I understand that you're working hard on it, but my question was, who has the contract? How long have they had that contract, and how much money have we spent on it?
In general, we spend about $20 billion in the Department on Information Technology Systems. The accounting systems are part of that. I can get you the exact number for the record of what we spend on our current, what we call legacy systems, and those that we're moving toward.
And who has the contracts?
That would be a multitude of individuals.
Could you name some, please?
Well, I think off the top of my head, well, I would rather not. I'd rather provide that for the record.
That's not privileged information, is it?
This has been going on for so long, he couldn't answer the question. He kept giving her word salad, and she was trying to make the point that, is this administration and is this U.S. government authorizing and approving and giving contracts out to companies that are blatantly trafficking women and children? And again, more word salad. He couldn't really answer the question. And as well, he couldn't answer the question where the trillions of dollars went either. And then all of a sudden, 9/11 happened, and building number 7 with the financial records disappeared with the financial records in it. So we have this trend in this country, unfortunately, where it seems that at some of the highest levels and some of the deepest levels, they're all involved in this. Not all. A lot of people are involved in this dark web of trafficking people. I just can't understand, and I know this isn't a question, I just don't understand what comes over a person to want to be involved in these types of dark activities. What thrill is coming out of this? It's almost like some type of initiation or something they feel like they have to do, or is it just, I'm just not throwing out things. I'm just trying to wrap my mind around what did they get out of this, other than obviously with Epstein maybe was some blackmail potentially for his friends or across the ocean. But the people here that blatantly got involved in it, I just don't understand why they would get involved in something like this, something so dark and so evil and sadistic. I just keep scratching my head. I want to believe in humanity. I want to believe that people are innately good, and I do believe that most people are. I'm just wondering, is it that you get to a certain level in power and then all of a sudden that disappears? Or what happens to a person to give them this this level of darkness? I don't know. It's just incredible to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
To be honest, taking advantage of young girls is not the way to move forward in life.
Yeah, yeah. And this has been happening for so many eons. Like I said earlier, this isn't something new. Epstein is just, Epstein is one of the ones that got high profile and got caught. I mean, and the reason why is because, I don't know if you remember back in the 90s when you had Puff Daddy was, running his company, his music label, and he would be in all the videos. Right?
Yeah, I remember.
And Suge Knight made a statement on stage. He was like, I'm not like Puff Daddy hanging out and, showing up in all the music videos. If you want to come to Death Row Records. So he kind of took a jab at Diddy because he was in every picture, every scene, every video. And Epstein reminds me of Diddy, and in a lot of ways, obviously, because Epstein, he was showing up in every photograph, every video, every event, every Oscar. I mean, wherever you saw people, high-level people, he was there. And I think that Epstein is just one small splinter cell of maybe dozens that exist throughout the country. And he was one of the ones that were just on camera all the time. The others, we'll never see their faces. We'll never know who they are. They stay in the shadows. And he was just one of the ones that wanted to be in the limelight. And being in the limelight got him in trouble. You know, so many photographic evidences of him being in places and meeting up with people that make you scratch your head, you know? Yeah. During this whole process, you know, when you started seeing the survivors coming out, how were you able to connect with them? How were you able to track them down? Did you always have their phone numbers or something?
No, well, the person who introduced me to Epstein was a friend. And so I saw her and reached out.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad you did, and I'm glad that you all are really fighting for this. I just saw you sent me a video on a news feed that you're on recently. What was that about?
Jen Psaki.
Yeah.
That was the first interview I had done after Capitol Hill.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Well, congratulations on getting that law passed.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, we're hoping that it's not just going to help us, that it'll help all of America. And I think that that's the biggest thing that matters, is that what we're doing right now, it's not just for us. It's literally for America. This is for everybody.
Yeah.
And actually, a lot of other countries are looking at America. And they have passed a law. Canada in particular just passed something that is almost similar. They opened up another girl's case that I saw. And so I do believe we are actually helping other countries at the same time.
Yeah.
And we don't even know the ripple effect of what we're actually doing until it comes back like, oh, we helped that person, or we helped this person. And it is a good feeling to be able to help other people.
Yeah.
In their cases of abuse, really.
Yeah, that's incredible. And what you all are doing is you're sending ripples out. You're creating ripples in the space-time continuum that are going out and creating different future realities in this dimension. And so you've been planting a lot of seeds through all your efforts, and those seeds are going to grow into big trees. You might never sit in the shade of all those trees, but those trees are going to grow. And so because of the work and the courage that y'all have put forth, you know, being willing to step out into the light and say, hey, no, this really did happen. And we are real people. We are here. We are actual victims. It happened to us. It could shine a light. And I think that it definitely has potentially stopped some of these elite oligarchs, at least for now, from continuing on their dark web of solicitation of young girls and so forth. Because now everyone's on a high alert, you know, and they know at any moment they could be the next ones going down. So it has slowed down the effect of it somewhat. It hasn't eliminated it.
Yeah.
But it has in some cases slowed it down. From some people have kind of, I feel, maybe are pulling back right now. And hopefully eventually this is something that can be eradicated from the human population altogether. I
hope so, but it's definitely a fight that needs to be continued. Abuse breeds abuse.
Yeah.
So it's important that we shine the light in the darkness of this so that everything can come to light, as opposed to staying in the shadows and the darkness, like you just said.
Yeah.
That's literally what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and I feel like the people, they have to be held accountable. Have you ever sought out any type of therapy or counseling for what you went through?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, the thing that has helped me the most is what you do.
Wow.
I mean, you really are helping survivors everywhere of different things. You're helping people raise their level of consciousness. I can go through talk therapy every day, but that's not teaching me how to raise my consciousness.
Yeah.
It's just almost like mouth salad, just letting it all out and getting it out there. But it's almost re-traumatizing, to be honest, to continually say something, or I'm going through this, when I do believe what we need to be doing, and what has helped for me is to learn how to meditate, learn how to raise my vibration so that I'm not sitting consistently thinking about the bad things that have happened. I need to focus on the positive aspects of, okay, I went through a lot of pain. Now, how can I turn this into power? How can I make something good from something so terrible? And that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah. And you're doing it. And the most important thing I would say to you is just make sure that you, for whatever participation level you feel that you had through ignorance, just say, I forgive myself. And just wholeheartedly forgive yourself, because the most important thing we can do for ourselves is forgive ourselves, not wait for an outside source to come save us and forgive us, but that we understand. I was younger. I got caught up in something. I wasn't completely aware of exactly what it was until I was already in it. And then just release that guilt, release any shame you might have, and just forgive yourself. And of course, you've learned from your past mistakes already, because you're already moving on. You're growing. You're showing courage. But the most important thing we can do is forgive ourselves, and don't hold on to that anymore, and just continue to shine and be the light that you are. Because right now, to me, you're like a lighthouse on the shoreline, and others that are out there in the dark who have nothing to do with Epstein, other young women and young men and boys and girls that have been taken advantage of, groomed, and abused, they're looking to you now, and looking to the rest of your little group, because they're standing up, they're trying to get laws, and they've gotten laws activated. There are people out there who understand what we're going through, and I think it's important that that they see that you are like a lighthouse on the shoreline, guiding them in.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. No, definitely. Everyone, I want you to just remember, it's not about the men. It's about the women. It's about the victims. It's about the people that got taken advantage of. We have to really put our energy and focus on them and be considerate of them now. It's time for them to feel some type of empathy for what they went through. You have to remember that we all put ourselves in situations, go through things in life where we end up in places that sometimes we just shouldn't be. But that doesn't mean we're bad people. It just means that we're learning and growing, okay? Is there anything else you want to share with the viewers?
Just exactly what you just said, actually, to be honest with you. We appreciate the focus on us rather than, the abuse and what we went through. Please just be trauma informed. And what does that mean? Yeah,
exactly. Beautiful. Where can people find you on social media?
Sharlene Rochard official.
Okay.
Is my. Do you want me to spell it out, or?
Oh no, we'll put it in the caption. Don't worry, we'll put it on the screen and in the caption. Yeah. Sharlene Rochard official. You'll be able to kind of get an update as to what's going on with this as it moves forward, and hopefully, one day we'll see someone, at least somebody, be held accountable for their actions. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having us and me. I feel like I represent all the girls.
Yes, you do. Thanks. Peace. All right, cool. We got it. All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you. We didn't do the meditation thing.
Oh, forgot to. Oh, let's do it. Okay. Let's do it. Oh my goodness. We're gonna.
I was looking forward to that.
Oh my goodness, we're gonna do it. I forgot. Yeah. We're still recording? Okay. So, in reference to the trauma link, right, from what happened to you in the past, your younger self still could be connecting to your current self and giving you these feelings of anxiety, these feelings as if, I don't want to say feeling worthless, but feeling like not worthy of the abundance and worthy of a good life simply because of what you kind of went through. And so those things also have an effect on our loved ones, our children. They have an effect on decisions that we make in business and life and everything else, and in relationships, especially relationships. And I went through this myself. And so what I'd like to do with you is I'd like to take you on a short meditation, a guided meditation. It's a journey back to yourself, and we're going to visit yourself. And so for me, I did this several times. It was very healing. I utilized this technique to work on past trauma, to just face it, remove it, and release it and let it go. And so what we'll do is we'll first start by taking 10 deep breaths. Okay, so we're going to breathe in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. We're going to breathe in for 4 to 6 seconds. We're going to hold for a second and then exhale through the mouth. And we'll do that 10 times. Okay. That's just to get ourselves in calm, cool, brain, heart, coherent state. And then I'm going to guide you through some prompts. And you're just going to envision what I'm telling you, okay? And you're going to walk through this, all right? Okay, so let's start. Okay, so let's first start by taking a deep breath in through the nose. Hold. Exhale. Breathe 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 in. Hold. Exhale. Breathe in. Hold. Exhale. Breathe in. Hold. Exhale. One more time. Breathe in. Hold. Exhale. Okay. Just feel your body relax and keep your eyes closed. Just feel your shoulders relaxing. Feel your torso relaxing, your neck relaxing, your jawline just relaxing. Just let the tension flow away. And I want you to now calm your thoughts. I want you to see a giant bowl inside of your head. In that bowl are all of your thoughts. You can kind of see the thoughts in the bowl. And I want you to see a hand just reaching in, right through your skull, just reaching in and grabbing a handful of thoughts and taking them out. And then the hand reaches in again, and it grabs more thoughts. It takes out more thoughts. Now you have less thoughts in the bowl. And then the hand reaches in one more time, and it grabs even more thoughts. And now there's almost no thoughts left in the bowl. The bowl is not empty, but there are very little thoughts left in the bowl. And now I want you to take your attention to a window opening up right in front of you. A huge window opening up right in front of you. And you're going to open that window. You lift the window up, and outside of this window is a ladder. And you turn around and you climb down that ladder. It's only about 5 or 6 rungs on the ladder. You climb down out of this window and you turn around. And when you turn around, you realize you're back, all the way back in time, to a time where you had a trauma, when you first realized that you had been traumatized. And you're in a familiar place, and you walk over, and as you're walking, you see your younger self there. You see your younger self that has been traumatized, that had gone through something so great that it really created an imprint on your life. And so you walk right over. And as you walk over, Your younger self sees you, and you see your younger self, and you walk over and put your arm around your younger self. Just put your arm right around yourself and say, hey, we're going to go for a little ride. And as you say that, you see a car sitting on the road. And you both walk over to the car. And your younger self gets into the driver's seat. And you go around the car and get into the passenger seat. Now I want you to see this car begin to move down the road. It's the only car on the road, and your younger self is driving the car. I want you to tell your younger self while she's driving that everything is going to be okay, that you are going to survive, that you are going to come out of this, and you are going to thrive. And tell her that everything that she's gone through is going to be alchemically changed into positivity, because it's going to help so many other victims of trauma all around the world. You're just driving down the road, having a casual conversation, just reinforcing to your younger self that it's okay to forgive yourself, that you didn't do anything wrong, and to let go of the guilt. Now you pull over, your younger self pulls over, and you tell your younger self to get out of the car and get in the passenger seat, and you get behind the wheel. And you look at yourself and you tell your younger self, you don't have to drive my life anymore. From this point forward, I'm going to drive. You can relax now. You can relax and you can rest. And you pull off and you realize you are now driving your life. Your current version of yourself is driving. And when you look over to the passenger seat, you see your younger self falling asleep and resting, finally getting some rest, because she doesn't have to drive your life anymore. Now you pull over, you get out and give her a hug. And when you turn around, you're right back in the room. You feel a huge weight lifted off of your shoulders. You've released that trauma from your younger years, and you're moving forward into your new empowered self. So when you're ready, you can just gently open your eyes. So that's just, it's a form of hypnotherapy. It's a guided meditation, but it's just about letting the old go, telling your younger self it's okay. You've done a great job.
Sorry,
Yeah,
it seems
it's okay.
so much easier than it really is. Like it's just so hard. We've been through so much.
Yeah.
I know we still have a long way to go. And
Long way to go.
Like, if I could have told that person back then, it's like,
Yeah.
I never believed it.
Yeah. I know. And these are the types of things we do to work on ourselves over time, and it becomes a journey, But what I find is these types of techniques work a lot better for me than going and sitting in a room and talking to somebody in a chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, because little by little, you start clearing out a little at a time. And when I first started working on myself like this, to deal with some traumas that I had as a child with, unfortunately, my father putting a gun to my forehead one time because I didn't give him some money. He needed it for drugs and alcohol. I had given him money in the morning, but he needed more in the afternoon. And I told him no. I used to never be able to talk about that without completely breaking down. But after years of working on myself with these types of techniques, I can actually talk about it now and see it, replay it in my mind, but not feel that overwhelming emotional connection to it anymore. And so over time, doing these types of techniques, and you can do them with yourself, you can actually begin to slowly process things from the past. It doesn't mean that it goes away instantly, but it definitely starts easing little by little. And the next thing you know, you wake up one day and you're not as attached to it anymore. It kind of just slowly separates a little bit, that it's there and you can see it, you can replay it, but you don't live in it. Because we have to realize that we are, in this timeline where the future is rushing towards us. And we're at bottlenecks in the hourglass. That's the moment of now. That's the moment that we're experiencing right now. The past, that past version of you, is gone into the sands of time. And so what most people end up doing is they end up living down there. And when you live down there, you forget to live in that bottleneck where the moment of now is, where that sand is passing through the most crucial part of the hourglass. And, so people worry about the past and they stay in the past. Now, you have to obviously focus on the past now because of your work, but you don't have to live there. Mm-hmm. You can process it as the work that you're doing to change the world, but also still taking time to smell the roses and love on your child and live in the moment of now. And also, don't worry about the future because the future is rushing towards you anyway, right? Mm-hmm. So it's all about just living in the moment and understanding that every moment that passes is the next moment you have to enjoy this life and to work on manifesting and creating and building. But living in the past in a way that's traumatic will only keep you tied to the trauma and keep you stuck. Yeah. So thanks for coming on the podcast. This has been an honor.
Thank you. That was really powerful.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. That's the end of this session of the Forbidden Knowledge podcast. Thank you for watching. And remember the people, the women, the children that were victimized by this Epstein situation. Consider them in your posts and your commentary and in your information, because at the end of the day, there are real victims here. It wasn't a hoax. Peace. Watch this video for free at www.4bk.tv or download the app on your smartphone, Fire Stick app, Samsung TV, Roku, and other app providers.